Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of How I'd Write, where I combine all three parts of my Star vs. the Forces of Evil video into one whole video. This video is in response to @save Star vs. the Forces of Evil 5 on Twitter and Instagram, who is holding the event to celebrate the series. For those unaware, it's been 3 years since the finale aired, and this is to show that they're still fans of the series. Also, it shows that some of us are still asking for a continuation. This video is parts 1 through 3 combined in one whole video. However, if you stay until the end, I will announce my next project for How I'd Write. Also, I just had art made for my OC for my book and my next project, which I'll show at the end. Before we begin, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to see more videos like this in the future. With all that out of the way, let's jump into episode 1. Episode 1 will be a half hour and focus on Star and Marco right after the finale. They would start off happy to see each other and oblivious to what's happened. After talking about how happy they are to be together, they stop and look around them. They finally realize that their dimensions are now one and see everything like the Monster Temple and Muni Castle. Eventually, Nachos would appear and land next to Star and Marco. Next, they would decide to fly around and get a better view of what is now Earthny. As they're flying, Ponyhead flies next to them. Marco would ask how she's flying, even though magic is gone. She would respond in her usual way of talking and say something along the lines of, "I don't know, ask someone that cares enough to know that stuff, Earth Turd." Then Star would bring up how she and Marco are dating, leading to Ponyhead asking a million questions to them. After flying for a while and having Marco close to going insane, they eventually fly near Marco's home. He and Star decide to stop there to make sure his family is safe. When they go in, they find Marco's family with Eclipsa, Globgor, and Meteora. Marco's parents explain they saw them and invited them home after remembering Star and Marco watching Meteora for them. Star asks if they've seen her parents, and both families tell them they haven't. While she's concerned at first, she's still happy to be with her boyfriend. The episode would end with Star on the roof looking up in the sky. Marco joins her and knows she's concerned about where her parents are. Marco assures her that they'll find them, but Star tells them that's not it. In truth, she's worried Moon might try to do something again and might put monsters and humans in danger. Marco says he's sure Moon learned her lesson, and the episode ends with Star hoping he's right. Episode 2A involves Star and Marco going on their first date at a fancy restaurant. They both approach it awkwardly since they've hung out multiple times, but feel they have to act differently. For example, Marco goes overboard with complimenting Star. In comparison, Star thinks she has to be more reserved and polite. Eventually, both of them get annoyed and ask each other why they're trying to do things differently. Just because they're dating now doesn't mean they have to be different. The episode ends with them running off and seeing what crazy thing they could get into like usual. For 2B, I'd make it a Tom and Janet episode. Since Marco and Star are busy on a date, they decide to spend some time together. Like the last time they hung out, Janet's out trying to find a giant boot. She says there should be a bunch after what happened with Mina's soldiers, and Tom is just going along with it. Eventually, they run into Mina, leading a few movements to try to take over again. However, Tom and Janet fight them off, and Tom uses his powers to beat them. Janet asks how Tom is still able to use magic, and he reveals that demon powers are different from magic. It ends with Janet intrigued and asking if he could teach her those demon powers. Episode 3A will involve Star and Marco looking for Moon and River. They're not having any luck though, so they decide to stop and take a break at Brita's Tacos. However, when Star and Marco get there, they see a couple of monsters trying to steal food. They decide to fight them off, but they're having some trouble compared to how easy it was when Star had magic. Luckily, Bullfrog shows up and helps them fight off the thieves. After police show up thinking Bullfrog was behind it, Marco's sensei uses security footage to show Bullfrog was helping stop the thieves. It ends with the police apologizing, while hinting some humans are unsure that monsters are good. Episode 3B will involve Star and Marco walking around, and Marco will get hit in the head with a basketball. Star turns to see where it came from, and she sees Ludo waving with his brother, Dennis. They walk over, and Ludo apologizes for hitting Marco. They talk a little longer until Ludo asks if they want to play a game against him and his brother. They agree, and it ends with Ludo and Dennis getting a win. The episode ends with Star and Marco saying good game, but Ludo acts evil, saying next time there will be more at stake. As Star and Marco look at him concerned, he laughs and says it's a joke. Or is it? Episode 4 is another half-hour episode that focuses on the rulers of Muni coming together. Muni is still an independent nation at this point, and its leaders are meeting to discuss where they go from there. Star and Marco are attending this meeting because Star has been helping Eclipsa run things since Season 4. While there, Star runs into Princess Spiderbite and Slime. Star's happy to see them and tells them how she's looking for Moon. However, once Star mentions her mother, they change from smiling to looking uneasy. Both of them view Moon as an enemy because she created the Solarian army. Star wants to defend Moon, but Slime brings up how Moon caused this. They ask Star if she thinks Moon will try this again, but Star doesn't reply. Before they go on, the meeting starts. It makes sense for Moon to be hated by monsters. Moon did create an army that wanted to kill every monster in Muni. Her just telling Star sorry shouldn't just be treated as her being forgiven. Yeah, Moon agrees it was wrong to trust Mina, but what's to stop her from trying this again on her own? More on that later. When the meeting starts, all the rulers are concerned about what should happen now that Muni is part of Earth. They're big enough to be a sovereign nation, but they wonder if that's the best thing for them to do. After airing out more problems, Eclipse finally stops them and says she has an announcement. She wants to give up the throne to spend more time with Globgor and Meteora. While this may be shocking to them, it makes sense she'd want this. Throughout Season 4, Star was doing everything for Eclipse, like trying to build relationships with other rulers. However, Eclipse realizes she isn't fit to be queen, especially when Muni needs a real leader to come in and help lead them into the future. She says she does know the perfect person to replace her, and she's a former queen as well. As she's saying that, she's looking over at Star. However, before Eclipse can name who she wants to be her successor, a familiar voice is heard saying she wants the throne again. After waiting for so long, Moon makes her return. She says that she respects Eclipse's decision to step down, and she's ready to take back the throne. She also adds that Muni was prosperous during her time as queen, and that she's the perfect choice to take over. Before Eclipse could comment, Star interrupts asking, will the monsters be safe while you're in charge? So the idea for this came from reading Starry-Eyed Butterfly's version of continuation. Like in their story, Moon and Star would still argue about this topic. For example, Moon will say she didn't want to kill monsters. Star would shoot back by asking why would she trust a nut job like Mina in the first place. Eventually, Eclipse steps in and says the best way to settle this is with a competition. However, mine is different from Starry-Eyed Butterfly's version. In their story, it was just one competition to decide who the next ruler would be. Instead, I think Star trying to become queen should be a season-long arc. No disrespect to Starry-Eyed Butterfly, whose story I do enjoy. I just have a different opinion on how this story should go. If you're interested, I'll leave a link to their story in the description. So how will a next ruler be crowned in my story? Eclipse explains that there will be 3 competitions. Whichever team wins 2 will be the next rulers. Both Star and Moon look confused until Eclipse points out that they will need a partner. Moon chooses River, and Star chooses Marco. The first competition for them is rowing. Both teams have to work together to row past the finish line. They start even, but Star is trying to go faster as she's still worried about Moon taking over. However, Marco is having trouble keeping up, and they're both out of sync. This causes their boat to start moving in circles. Marco tries to tell Star to calm down, but Star just yells back at him. While they're having trouble, Moon and River keep in sync and cross the finish line. Back on land, Moon is standing next to her supporters celebrating. At the same time, Star and Marco are arguing with each other. Marco is trying to explain that they were fine until Star went overboard, but Star says she can't let Moon win. They continue to argue until both blurt out that maybe we're not meant for each other if this is how we act when things are bad. The episode ends with both of them walking in separate directions, wondering if that is true. Episode 5A starts with Star alone at the pier. She's still upset about losing earlier, but is also upset that she had a fight with Marco. As she's thinking about it, she hears someone behind her. When she turns around, she sees that it's Jackie. Jackie asks if Star is okay, and Star tries acting like everything is fine. However, Jackie tells her that she was at the competition and saw her fight with Marco. Star sighs and begins to tell Jackie everything. After losing as badly as they did, Star wonders if it was right to get with Marco. To her, this competition showed them at their worst, and they were never like this as friends. But before Star can continue, Jackie cuts her off and tells her to listen. Jackie tells Star, yeah, that did look bad, but sometimes couples fight. You should know this because you've been in a relationship before. She also adds that there are 2 more competitions, so it's not over yet. After the pep talk, Star smiles and hugs Jackie. Star thanks Jackie for being there for her, and Jackie hugs her back saying no problem. After breaking the hug, Jackie puts on her helmet and tells Star to talk to Marco when she's ready. Star says that she will, and Jackie rides off. The episode ends with Star taking a seat and watching the ocean. So my reasoning behind making Jackie the one to comfort Star was more to put them together in a scene. Jackie was the most underutilized character in my opinion, and I hate that she disappeared after breaking up with Marco. I also felt like we didn't get enough Star and Jackie moments in the series, so I wanted to make one in my version. Episode 5B starts with Marco standing in a field alone, asking himself if he and Star shouldn't be together after what happened. Before he could think more about it, Kelly shows up and starts attacking him. He asks why she's attacking him, and Kelly replies, "We haven't had our weekly sparring match yet." He tries to protest, but Kelly just continues to attack. Eventually, he gives up and starts sparring back. After sparring for a while, they sit and talk. Marco thanks her for the match and says it was a great way to get his mind off things. Kelly asks if he's referring to what happened with Star, and Marco nods. Then he tells Kelly how he's worried that they shouldn't be a couple, but Kelly cuts him off. Like Jackie, Kelly was also there and saw them fighting. Kelly tells him that she knows Marco and Star are meant for each other. Marco asks how she would know that, and Kelly says, "You wouldn't stop talking about her when we hung out." She also asks that he might not want to admit it, but Marco likes Star even when they were together. Marco feels terrible and apologizes, but Kelly tells him, "We were only breakup buddies, and you should be happy you have someone like Star." Then she gets up to leave Marco alone and tells him she'll see him next week for their next sparring match. The episode ends with Marco pulling out his phone and dialing someone's number. It rings a couple times before it finally stops. We hear Star saying, "Hello?" I picked Kelly because she and Marco did grow closer together throughout the series. Also, I wanted to add some closure to something I disliked in Season 4. During Season 4, Kelly and Marco got together and then broke up off screen. I may not ship them together, but I do think fans deserve closure on why the both of them broke up. Episode 6A starts with Star, Marco, Jana, and Tom on a double date. Star and Marco are a bit nervous being on a double date, but they're trying to make up with each other. Meanwhile, Tom and Jana deny it's a double date since they're not dating. Either way, they decide to spend the day at the beach. Since they're at the beach, Tom asks if everyone wants to play volleyball. Of course, everyone says yes, and Star teams up with Marco to take on Tom and Jana. But unfortunately, as the game starts, Star and Marco are having a difficult time. Both of them are trying, but Tom and Jana just seem to be better. Eventually, Star starts to get agitated with how bad things are going, and is ready to explode. However, Marco notices and calls a timeout. Marco tells Star she needs to breathe and calm down. Star is ready to explode, but remembers what happened the last time she did that. Star says she doesn't know what they're doing wrong, and Marco tells her they need to start working as a team. Star nods, they get back to the game. Star and Marco start working more as a team and make a comeback. Eventually the score is tied, and the next point wins. Both teams go back and forth, with Star close to getting the game-winning shot. However, Jana jumps at the right time and gets the point instead. While Janet and Tom celebrate, Star and Marco talk to each other. Even though they lost, Star smiles and tells Marco, "At least we're finally working as a team." Marco smiles as he hugs her and says he's happy about that. As they're hugging, the same woman who took their picture from Season 4 comes up to them and says she took another one of them. As they take the photo, they look at how happy they are in it. Star and Marco thank her, and she hands them another photo. She says she got a shot of the other couple and points at Tom and Jana. The episode ends as we see Tom and Jana hugging as they celebrate. Episode 6B would have Eclipsa, Globgor, and Marco's parents on a double date, while Star and Marco watch their kids. They go to a restaurant where Marco's parents like to go, and they run into a couple that Raphael and Angie know. They introduce their friends to Eclipsa and Globgor, and their friends are terrified. While we know Globgor isn't evil, most people would probably be scared when they first see him. After all, he is a monster, and the people of Earth aren't used to being around monsters. However, Raphael tells them that he's an okay guy, and they should give him a chance. He then asks if they will join them, and they say yes since Raphael is vouching for Globgor. As they sit at their table, Globgor tells them more about himself, like how he can grow into a giant, and they're still terrified. However, they see that he's a vegan when they start to order. The other couple smile because they're vegan, and start to talk to Globgor about being one. The episode ends with the other couple saying they should do this again sometime. Episode 7A involves Moon and her people in their village. Everyone is happy that Moon won, and they're sure she'll be queen again. For the most part, we're just seeing how the village is on a regular day, with Moon helping run things. However, as Moon goes to her home, Mina is inside. Mina congratulates her, but Moon is giving her the cold shoulder. Finally, Moon asks what she wants, and Mina offers to help her win the next competition. Moon says she doesn't need her help and can take back the crown without her. Moon also adds that she'll never trust her again because Mina's crazy. The episode ends with Mina walking off mad and Moon looking in the mirror trying to reassure herself. Episode 7B is kind of a crazy one, but hear me out. Star and Marco are at a racing event in Muni that Eclipsa is hosting. I'll get to why she's hosting it in a minute. At the race, some of Mia's people are protesting and trying to stop monsters from going in. Star and Marco argue that it's wrong to stop them from coming in, but the protesters aren't listening. As this is going on, one of the drivers sees this and goes to get security. When he comes back, Mina's people think they've won. However, the driver points at them and says they're harassing people and making it hard for them to come in. Security sends him away. He tells everyone that the race is about to start. Star and Marco thank him. He tells them, I just want to make sure every fan has a good time at the race. The episode ends with everyone watching the race and cheering. So I'm a big fan of NASCAR, so I want to make an episode involving NASCAR. Also, I thought Eclipsa might wish to host an event like this because she'd be a fan of Kyle Busch. Like her, Kyle Busch is hated by many people because of who they are, and they're both not sorry about it. Also, I thought it would be funny to put Kyle Busch in the Snickers car, since one of the sponsors on his car in the past was Snickers. Episode 8 is another half-hour episode dedicated to the second competition. It starts the night before with Star on the roof looking at the sky. Marco ends up joining her and asks if she's okay. She tells him she's worried they'll lose and what that would mean for monsters. Marco reassures her that they'll find a way to beat them and take the crown. Star thanks him and she comes back down to sleep. The next day, Star and Marco go to the competition and they see a crowd cheering for them. Most of their side consists of friends like Jana, Tom, and Jackie. However, there are some people she wasn't expecting, like Ludo and his brother Dennis. They go to the starting point where Moon and River are already standing. Eclipse explains that the next competition is to help lead a group of Warnicorns back to their stable. Each person gets a horse and a lasso to get their Warnicorns. Moon says that this will be easy since she's already an expert at this, while Star stays quiet. After both teams get to their horses, Eclipse gives the signal to go. When the competition starts, Moon gets an early lead. Star and Marco are close behind, but Moon is the favorite to win. Moon also grins because there's one Warnicorn giving Star trouble, and she thinks Star will lose her cool again. However, Star remembers to calm down and be patient, and she's able to get the Warnicorn to calm down for them, but Moon is on her last one. Like Star, Moon's dealing with a Warnicorn that gives her trouble. Moon is annoyed, saying she just needs to get this last one and she'll be queen again. Unfortunately, this leads to her losing her cool, and the Warnicorn runs away after her lasso breaks. She frantically tries to get to it, but that gives Star and Marco enough time to get all their Warnicorns and win the second competition. Everyone in Star's group is celebrating that she won. Eclipse also comes up to congratulate her before announcing there will be one more competition to decide who will be the new ruler of Muni. When things start to die down, Moon goes up to Star and asks to speak to her privately. Once they're alone, Moon asks for Star to drop out. She explains that she was leading before she was born, and Muni was prosperous during her time as queen. Instead of being mad that her mom would ask this, Star does think about it. As I said back in part 1, Muni needs someone to lead it into the future. Star can be a leader, but she's not sure she's ready for that role, and Moon was right about ruling Muni while it was prosperous. However, Star is worried about what will happen to monsters, so she offers Moon a deal. Star says she'll drop out of the competition on one condition. Moon needs to promise she'll leave monsters alone and let them stay where they are. It's why Star jumped into the competition in the first place, so she'd agree to stop if Moon agrees with that. However, Moon refuses. Moon tells Star that she's already promised her followers their homes back when she becomes queen again. Star gets angry at this and tells her they belonged to monsters originally. Moon tries to say it's not her fault her ancestors took them away, and Star replies that she should be trying to make it right. In the end, it turns into another argument between them. Finally, Star gets tired of arguing and says she'll see Moon at the next competition. The episode ends with Star walking away as Moon stands there and watches. Episode 9A picks up with Moon and River returning in defeat. Moon's people are concerned, but she assures them that she'll win the last competition while smiling. Her people believe her and they head back to their homes. However, once Moon gets back in her home, she drops her smile. While Moon's concerned about losing, River thinks that everything has been a lot of fun. He views this as just a fun game he's playing with his daughter. Moon just rolls her eyes at this and wishes that he would take this more seriously. At night, Moon is unable to sleep and goes for a walk. That's where she runs into Mina, who asks if she reconsidered her offer. The episode ends with Moon just looking unsure as the screen goes black. Episode 9B is the return of the Ponyhead show. Ponyhead wants to interview Star and Marco, and they think that it's related to how they're competing to become the new rulers of Muni. However, she ends up asking questions about their relationship instead. You also see StarFan13 return, but her name's changed to StarcoFan13. It's mostly a fun episode and an excuse to answer questions about them. If you have any Starco questions you think would be asked in this episode, leave them in the comments. I'll try to put as many as I can when I write these episodes out on my fanfic account. Episode 10A involves Star and Marco training for their final challenge. This idea is mostly an excuse for Ruberia to play a workout song for them. After all, if you had the great Patrick Stump on your voice cast, you might as well get him to sing. It would also be perfect to have it as a parody of cheesy workout music from the 80s, like in Gravity Falls when Dipper is training to become a man. Episode 10B involves Janet and Tom again, but they're with Jackie and Chloe this time. Jackie offered to teach him how to skate, and Tom took the offer after Janet teased him about being scared. Unfortunately, when Tom first tries it, he keeps falling. However, Tom starts to get the hang of it, shocking Janet that he's doing so good. However, he falls again, and Janet gets scared because he fell from a greater height, and she thinks he's seriously hurt. Luckily, Tom is okay and he gets back up. He asks her why she was worried about him, and Janet plays it off like she was just joking. In the background, Chloe comments that Janet is having trouble hiding her feelings, and Jackie agrees with her. Episode 11 is a half-hour episode meant as a clip show. Star and her friends are making a photo album of all their memories. The idea of this episode isn't just a break before the finale, but also an excuse to make callbacks to the original series. Also, you can answer some questions fans have wondered, like, did Marco really love Star at first sight? Or why were Ferguson and Alfonso always gone? Yes, even they're in this episode. Finally, it ends with them finishing up the album for now. Episode 12 is the half-hour finale of the final competition. Everyone's on the edge of their seat, wondering who will become the ruler of Muni. As both teams arrive, Moon makes one last plea for Star to end this, but she refuses. In response, Moon turns away and prepares for what's next. The next competition is a game of flags, where anything goes. They start on opposite sides of the hill, which is larger than the one from Season 2, and get ready to go. Star keeps thinking about how the future of everyone could be at stake if she ends up losing. Finally, Eclipse does the countdown and signals for them to go. The race starts even, but Star and Marco catch the lead as Moon and River get distracted by the weather. The weather is also crazier than in Season 2. Star and Marco continue until some hooded people stop them. The leader removes their hood, revealing it's Mina. She announces that they can't let two brats take the crown, so she's there to stop them. Without any other choice, Star and Marco try to fight them off. While Star and Marco are fighting, their friends are stuck watching the competition with binoculars. They see the fight and beg Eclipse to stop the competition, but she reiterates that anything goes in a game of flags. They're concerned, but remember Eclipse is saying that, so Kelly calls Jorby and Ponyhead calls her sisters, and everyone gets ready. Back with Star and Marco, they are running out of energy. They're already climbing a giant hill and now have to fight multiple people. Star goes to finish off Mina with a kick, but Mina grabs her leg and breaks it. As Star cries out in pain, Marco goes into a blind rage and punches Mina a few feet from them. Unfortunately, Marco is too exhausted to continue. It would take a miracle to save them, which he sees in the sky. First he sees Ponyhead and most of her sisters carrying Jackie, Chloe, and Jana. Next, Jorby jumps in, with Kelly and Tom on his back. They start fighting off the others and go to check on Star and Marco. Star tells them about her leg, so they help set it for her. Finally, they get her and Marco on top of Jorby so they can finish the competition. As Eclipse has said, anything goes in this competition. As Star and Marco get back in the race, River and Moon get a glimpse of them. River pulls out his binoculars, wondering how Star and Marco are doing. He's shocked to see that not only do they look like they've been in a fight, but he sees that Star has a split on her leg. When Moon hears him mention that, she lets out, "Mina told me she wouldn't seriously injure her." River hears this and asks what Moon is talking about, and she tells him everything. After revealing that she made a deal with Mina, River gets mad and asks why she would put their only daughter in danger. She tells him she didn't mean for that, but River calls her out for trusting a nut job like Mina again. He also says that Muni would be in danger if Moon took the throne again because she'll do anything, include hurt their own daughter. Before this can go any further, Alfonso and Ferguson are dropped on Moon and River, leading them to fall down the hill. They decided if the others were saving Star and Marco, they would stop Moon and River to make it even. With every distraction out of the way, Star and Marco reach the top and become the new rulers of Muni. Eclipse goes to congratulate them and hand the crown over to Star. Even though Star is in pain, she's happy to know that she'll be in charge of Muni's future. Shortly after, everyone else arrives and celebrates with them. Even River arrives, congratulating her while carrying Ferguson and Alfonso with him. He apologizes for Moon's actions and tells her he's never been more proud to be her father. The finale ends with everyone celebrating, while Moon just walks away, unable to face her daughter. And that was how I'd write a continuation of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Again, thanks for checking out the full version. If you want to see all these chapters written out, please give this video 10 likes. Also, I'll start work on a sequel if this hits 20 likes. Now, as promised, here's the artwork of my OC from my book. This is my OC Roxie from my book, Roxie, Kitsune in the Desert Vixens. I had a swimsuit picture made of her since it's approaching summertime and because I'm headed to Colossal in June, which has a water park. If you want to see more pictures of my characters, you can find them on my Twitter and Instagram pages. The link to those will be in the description with the link to my book on Amazon. Now, I'll announce my next project for How I'd Write. To celebrate the 10-year anniversary, my next How I'd Write will be a sequel to the Disney series Gravity Falls. My Gravity Falls sequel is set 6 years later and follows Dipper, Mabel, and Wendy. What are they doing and where's everyone else like Seuss and Gruckle Stan? You'll have to wait and hear the answer when part 1 goes up next month. If you enjoy how the artwork looks for my continuation, it's made by the same artist who made my avatar and the art for my book. The link to her page will also be in the description if you'd like to check her out. Now, I turn the conversation to all of you. What are your thoughts on my idea for a continuation of Star vs. the Forces of Evil? Do you have your own ideas on how it should continue? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if there's a series you want me to consider for a future How I'd Write video, leave that in the comments as well. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more of my content in the future. I'm Marco Strange. Stay safe, stay strange.